I recently came across a business that spent $3,200 in a day on Google Ads and got 0 calls. They had no strategy and they were just putting money down the drain. And I've spent over a decade helping small businesses get to the top of Google without spending any money on ads. So today I'm going to show you the exact steps that I take with those businesses to get them to number 1. And you can do it too. So you ready to claim number 1 on Google without spending a penny? And these 7 hacks are going to make it possible because actually they're easier to do than you think. So let's head over to number 1. Use Google Ads, but not the way that you think is number 1. Look, Google Ads can be great if you understand broad searches, broad matches, negative keywords. There's quite a lot involved and you can get some limited success. But if you're not careful, they're just going to drain your marketing budget dry. So how can you use Google Ads for free but get the benefit and the power from Google Ads? Well, to help understand this, do you remember the story of Hansel and Gretel? They went out into the forest and they left a breadcrumb trail behind them so they could get back. Well, your Google Planner, your keyword planner, is that trail. It's a trail of exactly what customers have done to get to the point where they make a purchase. And you can get that information, that trail, for free with the keyword planner. So how do you do it? Well, you sign up onto Google Ads. Once you're there at the account, you just analyze what are people bidding for? What are the keywords? Because the ones that are highest are the ones that are converting the most. It's just mathematics that people do the research for you. They leave the trail for you to look at. You just need to look at what people are paying for. Once you get a good understanding of what real traffic is producing real results, then these are the ones that are highly converting. All you then need to do is, well, number 1, here's the hack. Just get Google Keyword Planner working for your business. It's free and it's the best keyword tool out there. But hack number 2 is all about how you can use those keywords then. Where do you put them? What do you do with them? Well, think of keywords a bit like seeds. If you want to plant certain seeds, then you'll need to know what time of the year it's going to germinate, what time of the year is the most fertile time for that seed. And also you need to know where you're going to plant them, and you might need to even prepare beforehand. Keywords are exactly the same. If you want keywords to lead to a nice fruitage in the summer, then you need to know where to plant those keywords before Google spiders them. Now, I'm no gardener, but I know if you don't plant them in the right places, then you're not going to get a good crop. So your website and your content will benefit from these keywords if they're put in the right places, like titles, H1 tags, and so on. But what many people do is they put the keywords in their replies to reviews on Google Business Profile, or they put it within the description. But you know what? Google doesn't go there for keywords because it knows that it's easy to manipulate that information. Where Google really goes is where you can't control where those keywords come from. But you can control it to some degree, as I'll come on to in tip number 3. But there is a great place you can get these seeds from, not just the planner, but also from your own Google Business Profile. It's under performance, so if you look at where your stats are, there you'll then see a list of all the keywords. These are real customers that are really finding your business. So combine that with the keyword planner, and you're going to get a great list of keywords that you can use to optimize your business with. But what you now want to do is get these keywords into the right places and plant them. So number 2 is to make sure you put your keywords in the areas that Google actually values. But for hack number 3, let's focus on where it is that Google goes to when it wants to look at your business profile and to see what customers are saying about you and then valuing those particular keywords. Well, to understand this, imagine you're at a party and someone comes up to you and says, you know what? You're great. Well, that's nice, but it's a bit generic, isn't it? Now imagine someone comes up to you and says, you know what? You're great because I love the way you do your videos. I love the way you help businesses thrive on Google. And I just love the way you present the information so it's easy to understand. Now, that's got a lot more detail in, and it's actually quite useful. And it mentions or tells Google in a review that there's a few things in particular that I can do well. So specific keyword-rich ones are much more valuable to Google. They've got a lot more weight when Google looks at them. So here's your cheat code, is don't just try and get loads of reviews, 5-star reviews. Try and get some detail within the review that's actually helpful. Try and get some of those keywords that we mentioned earlier into those reviews. And how do you do it? Well, you can suggest to the reviewer When they've said, oh, I really want to give you a great 5-star review, say, great. Can you mention the product? Can you mention the town? Can you mention the services I provided? If you can mention those in there as well, it's going to really help me. And you know, if you suggest it, then many customers will be happily able to do that. But how valuable that is to Google and to other customers that are looking for your services. So number 3 is get detailed reviews. Now for the next few, you're going to love these hacks. They really are some of my favorites I like sharing. Number 4, and it's so simple, I just don't understand why no one seems to see the importance of this. And it's all down to really what in England we call traffic lights. Now at traffic lights, there are 3 colours. There's red, there's amber, there's green. And everyone knows that when it's red, then it's stop, you don't move your vehicle. When it's amber, it's exactly the same, except you get ready. So you're still stopped, and then green is go, off you go. Why is that useful for your Google business profile? Well, remarkably, most people seem to ignore this, but when they log in, you'll see that you're given a profile strength. And if it's red or amber, you're going nowhere. You're still stopping. Even if you're nearly there, even if you're 80%, 90%, and you're amber and you're nearly green, unless you're green, your business is going nowhere. Google is not going to rate a business if they can't complete their business profile. So I often talk about getting to 100% and going green. When I say go green, it's just meaning go green for Google, because when Google sees you 100%, it then knows you're fully charged and ready to get out there and start ranking. And tip number 5 is one of the best ways to do that. So what's tip number 5? Well, tip number 5 is a bit like playing cards. If ever you've played cards, you'll know that if you can know what your opponent's cards are, it's really going to help you know what cards are best to play. But you know, Google's quite good at telling you exactly what cards it wants you to play. Because when you log into your business, and particularly if you're not green at the moment from the previous tip, then it tells you exactly what cards it wants you to play. Because here you'll see these cards on your profile. And all they're saying is just consider these things. Give me the signal that you've either handled it, you've dealt with it, or you're going to deal with it. You know, so many businesses, once they go through these cards and clear them, they then find they go green and they find they start ranking again. Now, if you really get stuck with this, then there'll be some details in this video where you can contact me at the end. If you look in the link down below and just contact me on my website and I'll help you sort that out for you. So tip number 5 was basically play cards with Google, play it at their game, play the cards that they want to see. So for tip number 6, this is what I know as the mirror effect. And it's all about just knowing what it is, what photos it is that Google wants you to use. And it's pretty straightforward really, because all you need to do is follow the mirror effect. Go to Google, see what images it's rewarding in the rankings, and then produce the same ones for yourself. Now, the best way to do this is to go to Google Images, type in the service that you provide, type in the town or the area or the city that you're in, and just look what comes up. So in this case, I've done it, and you see here, several of my images are coming up because I'm replicating what I know Google's looking for. And once you then get found in the Google Images, there's traffic to be found there too. So people are likely then to click on the top 10 images, if I can get into those, and that will then lead me to more traffic to my website. So you can see here, looking at probably about 30 results, I've got 5 out of 30 for my local area web design. So tip number 6 is use the mirror strategy when it comes to your images. So for tip number 7, it's to do with categories. And really the best way to explain it is if ever you were going fishing and you had a trawl or a fishing net sent out at sea and you get, say, hundreds of fish come in, what happens if you want to get more fish? We just put out more nets. And categories are a similar way. There's a strategy to use categories the right way to get more customers through your business. So if you want to know how to do that, I put together the whole strategy here regarding categories. You need to watch it because it will give you a double or triple amount of customers just by changing your primary and secondary categories. So I'll see you on that video.